The iPhone 16e is one of the most intriguing releases in recent memory, not because it redefines technology, but because of what it represents. It's a device that walks a fine line between premium and practical, cutting edge and cost cutting. Apple has never truly made a cheap iPhone, and the 16e is no exception. Instead, it exists in a strange space, a product that is deliberately held back, yet still desirable. Few products generate as much discussion as the iPhone each year. Debates ignite over what's changed, what's missing, and whether Apple is pushing innovation or just repackaging old ideas. But when it comes to Apple's more affordable models, the conversation becomes even more interesting. So let's look at the newly released iPhone 16e. When Apple releases a more affordable iPhone, it doesn't do so without necessity. Unlike other smartphone brands that fight for dominance in the mid-range market, Apple doesn't need to chase lower price points. Its brand alone is powerful enough to command loyalty and premium pricing. Yet, every so often, Apple introduces a model like the 16e, not necessarily to attract new customers, but to keep existing ones from leaving. It's not about making the most feature-packed phone at a lower price. It's about ensuring that there's always a way to get an iPhone at a more budget price. The genius lies in how Apple frames this affordability. The 16e isn't presented as a compromise, it's presented as a smart, intentional choice. Every missing feature is part of a careful design trade-off, making buyers feel like they're getting something premium just at a lower price. The decision to buy it doesn't feel like it's settling for less. It feels like it's making a practical yet aspirational choice. Apple has mastered the art of budget-conscious consumers feeling like they're not missing out, even when they actually are. That's what sets the 16e apart from its competitors. So what makes it an iPhone? The 16e forces an interesting question. What truly defines the iPhone experience? Is it the premium materials, the latest chip, the cameras, the ecosystem? For many, the answer is simple. It's the software, the ecosystem, and the identity that comes with owning an iPhone. The 16e understands this better than any other budget model Apple has released. It may lack some high-end features found in the Pro models, but it still offers the core experience people expect from an iPhone. iOS and its seamless updates, access to iMessage and FaceTime, the ability to integrate with Macs, iPad and Apple Watches, and a familiar design that feels premium, even if it's not cutting edge. Apple knows that for many users, these elements matter far more than an extra camera lens, or a higher refresh rate, or marginal performance boosts. And that's exactly why the 16e exists. It doesn't try to compete with the flagship Android phones in raw power or features. It doesn't have to. As long as it looks, feels, and functions like an iPhone, it's already done its job. And now let's talk about the art of holding back. Apple could have made the 16e more powerful. It could have added all the latest features while keeping the price competitive, but it didn't, and that's intentional. The limitations of the 16e aren't about cutting costs. They're about maintaining the desirability of Apple's more expensive models. If the 16e was too good, why would anyone buy the standard iPhone 16 or the Pro models? This isn't just an Apple strategy. It's a classic marketing technique called product segmentation. By deliberately removing certain features, Apple subtly nudges consumers to spend more on the higher tier models. But at the same time, it ensures that the lower tier models never feels bad, just slightly less complete. The key to Apple's success is that it never makes its budget models feel outdated or inferior. Instead, it presents them as a modern, capable device that's just the right level of compromise. Buyers don't feel like they're getting a lesser product. They feel like they're making a smart decision based on their needs. That's what makes the iPhone 16e so fascinating. It's not about what it has, it's about what it doesn't have. One of Apple's biggest advantages is its ability to make every new iPhone feel instantly familiar. Whether you're upgrading from an older model or switching from another brand, the experience remains intuitive and cohesive. The 16e capitalizes on this sense of continuity, even if it lacks certain high-end features. It still looks good and behaves like an iPhone. There's no learning curve, no feeling of missing out, just a streamlined, consistent experience. This familiarity isn't just about user experience, it's about brand loyalty. Once someone buys an iPhone, they're far more likely to stay within Apple's ecosystem, upgrading to more expensive models in the future. The 16e is an investment, not just for the buyer, but for Apple itself. By keeping users engaged with iOS, Apple ensures they remain part of the ecosystem. That's where the real profit lies, in its services, accessories, and future upgrades. So the 16e isn't just another budget smartphone. It's a masterclass in balancing affordability, exclusivity, and brand power. exists not to push boundaries, but to reinforce the iPhone's position as the default choice for millions of users. It's a device designed not to be the best phone, but to be the best iPhone at its price point. And in doing so, it proves that iPhone is about more than just specs or features. It's about identity, consistency, and the power of perception. For those who want the absolute best smartphone experience, the 16E may feel like a collection of compromises. But for those who simply just want to own an iPhone without overspending, it's a near perfect product, and that's exactly why it will succeed. Let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe.